What if I told you there are flowers out there that you plant just once, and they show up for you every single spring, like clockwork, for the next 20, 30, even 50 years? No replanting. No spending money every season. No back-breaking work in the heat. Today, we're walking through the 11 best long-lasting perennials that will completely transform your yard. And trust me, a few of these are going to surprise you. Before we dive in, if you love practical gardening advice without the fluff, hit that subscribe button right now. We put out new videos every week, and you will not want to miss what's coming. Also, drop a comment below telling us which plant on this list you're most excited about. We read every single one. Let me give you the short version of why perennials are in a completely different category than regular flowers. Annual flowers, the kind most people buy, they give you one season and they're done. You plant them in spring, they bloom for a few weeks, and by fall you're ripping them out and starting over. That cycle gets old fast and it gets expensive. Perennials work differently. When winter hits, the top part of the plant dies back. But the root system, that stays alive underground, building strength. Come spring, the whole plant pushes back up. And here's the key thing. Every single year it comes back a little bigger, a little stronger, with more flowers than the year before. Year 2 is noticeably better than year 1. Year 3 looks like a different plant entirely. That's the magic of letting a perennial settle in and do its thing. And there's another huge benefit that doesn't get talked about enough. Perennials feed your local ecosystem. Bees, butterflies, hummingbirds, they all depend on reliable flowering plants. When you plant perennials, you're not just making your yard look beautiful, you're creating a living, breathing habitat that those little creatures can count on year after year. Now, before we get into the plants, there's one thing you need to know, and it takes about 30 seconds to figure out. It's called your USDA hardiness zone. The zone is basically a number that tells you how cold your winters get. Every plant is rated for specific zones, so if a plant says zones 4 through 9, it means it can survive winters in all of those regions and come back reliably. Just go to the USDA Plant Hardiness website, type in your zip code, and you'll know your zone instantly. All 11 plants we're covering today are widely adaptable, but knowing your zone helps you set realistic expectations and place plants in the right spots. Alright, let's kick things off with one that's a little bit different from anything you'd expect on a list like this. Autumn Joycetum. This is a succulent-style perennial, and before the flowers even show up, the plant is already doing something beautiful. Through early summer, it grows these thick, upright stems with fleshy gray-green leaves that have a real architectural quality to them. Some people actually cut those stems and use them in flower arrangements. That's how attractive the pre-bloom stage is. Then, late summer hits, and the flower clusters burst open in this gorgeous, deep raspberry pink color. The whole plant transforms. And because it's a sedum, it is genuinely one of the toughest plants you will ever grow. Sandy soil, clay soil, rocky soil, doesn't matter. It just grows, loves the heat, handles drought without complaint, and deer walk right past it. Number 2 is one that will genuinely make your neighbors stop and ask what it is. Ivory Towers False Indigo. In early spring, you'll notice these thick purple stems pushing up from the ground. They look almost exactly like asparagus shoots, and then as they grow taller, they light up with these dense white flower spikes that stand completely upright like elegant white torches in your garden border. Here's what makes this plant a real long-term investment. It takes 2 to 3 years to reach its full size, but once it gets there, it's absolutely spectacular, and it stays put. Unlike most perennials that need dividing every few years, false indigo actually does better when you leave it alone. It's the plant that rewards patience more than any other on this list. If you want color in your garden when almost nothing else is awake yet, Blue Star Storm Cloud is your answer. This is one of the earliest bloomers of the season. We're talking April and May, when most plants are still deciding whether to wake up. The flowers come in this gorgeous smoky blue-purple shade, and they're carried on these striking, dark, almost black stems. The combination creates this hazy, dreamy cloud effect across your garden that's unlike anything else you'll find in spring. The blooming window runs about 4 to 6 weeks, and after that, the foliage stays attractive and provides a nice green texture right through fall. Sam's top recommendation for this one, pair it with something that blooms later, so you're handing off the color baton throughout the season. Plant number 4, catmint, the all-summer workhorse zones 3 to 8. Full sun, drought-tolerant, any soil pH, blooms June to September. If you only plant one thing on this entire list, let it be catmint, because this plant earns its spot in your garden every single day from June through September. The flowers are this beautiful, hazy blue-purple, and they keep going and going, especially if you trim back these spent blooms. Walk past it on a warm morning and you'll catch this lovely aromatic fragrance. It's one of those plants that makes your yard feel like a proper garden. And pollinators. They are absolutely obsessed with catmint. Bees, butterflies, beneficial wasps. They swarm it. If you've been wanting more butterflies in your yard, this is the plant that delivers all season long. One heads up, catmint does spread. It self-seeds and can fill in large areas quickly, which is great if you're covering ground, but you'll want to keep an eye on it so it stays where you want it. Plant number 5, Chinese astilbe, the shade garden treasure. Zones 3 to 8, part shade to full shade, moist soil, acidic to neutral pH. Here's one for everyone who has a shady spot in their yard and has always struggled to find something that actually looks good there. Chinese astilbe is your answer. The foliage alone is stunning. It has this beautifully cut, fern-like texture that some gardeners actually prefer over the flowers. And the flowers themselves are these soft, feathery plumes that emerge in summer and persist for weeks, even after the blooms fade, giving you structure and texture well into fall. What separates Chinese astilbe from other shade perennials is that it handles slightly drier conditions better than most, which means if your shaded area isn't consistently moist, this variety will still perform reliably for you year after year. Plant number 6, coneflower echinacea, the wildlife magnet. Zones 3 to 9, full sun, any soil type, drought tolerant, blooms midsummer to fall. Coneflowers, or echinacea if you want to get technical, are probably the most recognized perennial on this whole list, and they've earned that reputation completely. They bloom from midsummer all the way through fall. They handle drought without missing a beat. They tolerate any soil you throw at them. They're disease-resistant, pest-resistant, and deer don't bother them. But here's what really sets them apart. The wildlife benefit is extraordinary. Butterflies, including monarchs, absolutely rely on coneflowers. And when the blooms fade and the seed heads form, goldfinches and other birds spend all winter working through those seeds. It's basically a full-service wildlife restaurant that stays open 12 months a year. They come in colors beyond just the classic purple, too. There are varieties in orange, yellow, white, and deep red. Whatever your garden's color scheme, there's a coneflower for it. Plant number 7, hellebore, the winter miracle. Zones 4 to 9, part shade, winter to early spring bloomer, near zero maintenance. Alright, this next one is going to stop you in your tracks, because what kind of plant blooms in the middle of winter? Hellebores do. We're talking flowers in December, January, February, blooming away while everything else in your garden is dormant and bare. In colder areas, they flower in late winter, and in milder climates, they can start as early as December. The flowers range from deep burgundy and purple to soft pink and pure white. Some double flowering varieties look like little roses, and once these blooms appear, they last for several months, not weeks, months. And here's the most remarkable part. There are documented hellebore patches over 40 years old that have never been divided, never been sprayed, never been given special care, and they just keep putting on a show every single winter. Plant it, walk away, and let it do what it does for the next half-century. Plant number 8 of 11 mountain mint, the pollinator powerhouse, zones 3 to 7. Full sun, native North American, aggressive spreader, contain it. Did you see that? That right there is why mountain mint belongs on every pollinator list ever written. This is a native North American plant, not the kitchen mint you cook with. And it might be the single most effective pollinator plant you can grow in a temperate garden. Every bee species in your area, native and honeybee alike, plus butterflies, beneficial wasps, and dozens of other insects will find this plant and work it constantly from midsummer all the way through late summer. It's also wonderfully fragrant. Walk by it on a warm day and you'll get this clean, crisp mint scent that fills the air. Now, important warning, all mints spread aggressively through underground runners. You need to either plant mountain mint inside a container buried in the ground or in a designated area where you're okay with it spreading. If you give it the right space, though, you'll have the most vibrant pollinator zone in the entire neighborhood. Plant number 9, peonies. The heirloom that outlives us all. Zones 3 to 8. Full sun. P. Age 6.5 to 7.5. Lives 50 to 100 plus years. Do not divide. I want you to think about this for a second. A peony that you plant in your yard this spring. That same plant in that same spot could still be blooming for your grandchildren. Or your great-grandchildren. There are peonies alive today that are over 100 years old, still flowering reliably, never having been moved. Most perennials peak at maybe 15 years. Peonies are in a completely different category. The blooms, those big, lush, fragrant flowers in deep red, soft pink, and pure white. They appear in late spring to early summer, and they're spectacular for cutting. Fill a vase with fresh peonies, and your whole house smells incredible. They do need a couple of things: full sun, well-drained soil, and a peony ring or some support to keep those heavy flower heads from flopping over. Other than that, your main job is just to leave them alone and enjoy them for the next 50 years. Plant number 10, roundleaf ragwort, the early season ground cover hero. Zones 4 to 8. Part to full shade. Evergreen. pH 5.0 to 6.5. Early pollinator food. This one might be the least known plant on our list, but it fills a gap that almost no other plant can fill, and that makes it absolutely worth knowing about. Roundleaf ragwort blooms very early in the season. We're talking late winter into early spring, at exactly the moment when bees are first waking up from winter and desperately need pollen sources. This plant steps up when almost nothing else will. It's also evergreen in many climates, which means your garden has living greenery during the coldest, most barren months of winter. That's a gift. It thrives in shade, handles various soil conditions, and spreads nicely as a ground cover under trees and shrubs. It's one of those supporting cast plants that makes the rest of your garden work better. Plant number 11. Variegated Solomon seal, the shade garden's crown jewel. Zones 3 to 8, full to part shade, moist soil, pH 6.0 to 8.0, spreads slowly by rhizomes. We're finishing strong with what I think is the most elegant plant on this entire list. Variegated Solomon seal. Unlike most of the plants we've covered, this one is grown primarily for its foliage, and what foliage it is. Each leaf is green with a distinctive cream-white edge, and the entire plant grows in these graceful arching stems that give your shade garden this beautiful, almost poetic movement. In spring, tiny white bell-shaped flowers hang underneath each leaf along the stem, followed later in the season by ornamental berries. It's a plant with something interesting happening in every season. It spreads slowly through underground rhizomes, gradually naturalizing an area over several years. Perfect for the shaded base of trees, alongside hostas, or anywhere you want that cool, refined woodland aesthetic without any of the work. Before we wrap up, let's talk about the one thing that determines whether any of these plants succeed or struggle. And it all starts before you put a single plant in the ground. The secret to long-lasting, thriving perennials is loose, well-draining soil that's rich in organic matter. Before you plant anything, dig in as much compost as you can get your hands on. Aged compost, well-rotted manure, leaf mold, whatever organic material is available to you. This step alone will improve your results dramatically, whether your native soil is heavy clay or fast-draining sand. Dig your planting holes at least twice as wide as the root ball, but only as deep as the pot. Gently loosen the roots before placing the plant in. Those roots have been coiled and need encouragement to spread outward. Water immediately after planting, and for the first 4 to 6 weeks, water at least once a week. After that establishment period, switch to less frequent but deeper watering. That trains roots to go deep and makes your plants more drought-resistant long-term. And finally, mulch. A 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch suppresses weeds and holds moisture. Just make sure you leave a small circle of bare soil right around each plant's stem. Mulch piled against the stem promotes rot. The minimal care calendar, perennials, make it easy. Here's the beauty of growing perennials. After that first season of getting established, the ongoing work is genuinely minimal. Let me walk you through the basics. Deadheading, that just means removing these spent flowers before they go to seed. When you do this regularly, the plant stops spending energy on producing seeds and redirects that energy into making more flowers. Catmint, coneflower, and many others will give you a whole second flush of blooms if you keep up with deadheading. Division. Most perennials benefit from being dug up, split apart, and replanted every 3 to 6 years. You'll know it's time when the center of the plant starts to look weak while the edges are still thriving. Division gives you more plants for free and keeps each plant performing at its best. However, and we mentioned this for specific plants, peonies, false indigo, and hellebores are exceptions. Leave those alone. Plant supports. Get these in early in spring before plants grow tall, not after they've already fallen over. A simple peony ring installed in April is invisible by June and saves a lot of heartache. Fall cleanup. For most perennials, cut them back in late fall, leaving a few inches of stem so you remember where they are. For coneflowers and others with ornamental seed heads, consider leaving them standing all winter for the birds. There it is. 11 perennials that will absolutely transform your garden. And the best part is that the investment gets better every single year. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one. Happy planting.